Hello, you're kicking off the Monday's edition of QPVN English News Bulletin. You're with Milinchi and the come headlines. National Assembly Chairman Chen Taimen pays tribute to war martyrs in Quảng. Full rehearsal for 50th anniversary of South Liberation and National Reunification held. Vietnam's largest hot air balloon festival underway in Đồng Nai. As the occasion of the 50th anniversary of the liberation of the South and national reunification, April 30th, 1975-25, Party General Secretary Tô Lâm has published an article titled "Vietnam is One, the Vietnamese People are One." We proudly present the article by the General Secretary. At the beginning of the article, General Secretary Tô Lâm emphasized that the moment the flag of liberation was raised atop the Independence Palace at noon on April 30th, 1975 was a historic milestone. The day the South was completely liberated, the country was reunified, and the nation was once again whole. It was a triumph of faith, of the deep-rooted aspiration for independence, freedom, and national unity, a victory of the great national solidarity under the wise leadership of the Communist Party of Vietnam, a triumph of the enduring truth that nothing is more precious than independence and freedom, a testament to the unyielding patriotism, resilience, and spirit of the Vietnamese people, as well as the support of progressive forces and peace-loving peoples throughout the world. The victory of April 30th, 1975 stands as the result of the Vietnamese people's unwavering determination for a unified nation, inviolable by any external force. President Ho Chi Minh, the brilliant leader of the nation, affirmed an eternal truth. Vietnam is one, the Vietnamese people are one. Rivers might dry up, mountains might erode, but that truth will never change. The General Secretary recalled that over the past century, the Vietnamese people had endured countless hardships and losses under colonial and feudal oppression, and especially through two fierce wars that spanned more than 3 decades. The wars claimed millions of lives and left profound scars on the nation's physical, mental, social, economic, and environmental fabric, affecting even generations born after the gunfire had ceased. Yet, with time, compassion, and forgiveness, the Vietnamese people have gradually overcome the pain, healed the wounds, set aside the past, respected differences, and looked forward to the future. 50 years after reunification, Vietnam stands resilient, proud, and magnanimous, ready to move forward together, ensuring that the past wars no longer divide those who share the same bloodline. In the article, General Secretary Tô Lâm reaffirmed that throughout the country's development journey, national reconciliation has always been identified by the party and state as the strategic, long-term choice and a cornerstone of the great national solidarity bloc. National reconciliation, he stressed, does not mean forgetting history or erasing differences. It means accepting diverse perspectives with tolerance and respect, all for the higher goal, to build a peaceful, united, strong, civilized, and prosperous Vietnam, a country where future generations will never have to endure the wars, separations, and sufferings that their ancestors once faced. While history cannot be rewritten, the future can be charted anew. A past must be remembered, to honor, to learn from, but the future must be built, created, and nurtured together. That is the solemn promise of today's generation to those who sacrificed their lives and the shared aspiration of a resilient nation that has known much sorrow but has never succumbed. The General Secretary emphasized that independence and reunification were not an end point, but rather the starting point for a new journey, a journey to build a peaceful, prosperous, civilized, and everlasting Vietnam. In the context of a rapidly changing and predictable world, General Secretary Tô Lâm stressed that Vietnam must maintain strategic composure and steadfastness, avoiding entanglement in geopolitical tensions or being drawn into international conflicts. Having endured the devastation of war, the Vietnamese people understand more than anyone the value of peace. Vietnam is a peace-loving nation that will do everything possible to prevent the outbreak of war. However, if forced to take up arms, the Vietnamese people will once again emerge victorious. More than ever, it is essential to build a self-reliant economy, a comprehensive and modern all-people defense and security posture, a streamlined and effective political system, and a cohesive, culturally rich and human society. The article concluded with a profound and hopeful message. The 21st century belongs to nations that master their destiny. With wisdom, bravery, and the aspiration to rise, the Vietnamese people will continue to write glorious chapters in the ongoing journey to build, defend, and develop a strong, prosperous, and civilized nation, standing shoulder to shoulder with friends across the 5 continents. On April the 27th, on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of the liberation of the South and National Reunification Day, Chairman of the National Assembly THANH offered incense to commemorate the heroic martyrs at Trường Sơn National Martyrs Cemetery. Senior Lieutenant General Trịnh Văn Quyết, Chairman of the General Political Department of the Vietnam People's Army, joined the delegation. National Assembly Chairman THANH and the delegation expressed their respect and deep gratitude for the great sacrifices of the heroic martyrs who devoted their youth and life to the revolutionary cause of national liberation and national reunification. Quang was once a fierce battlefield during the persistent resisting war, where tens of thousands of the nation's elites fought bravely for national protection, with many feats of arms recognized. Quang province is home to 72 martyrs cemeteries, where nearly 60,000 martyrs rest in peace. The fallen soldiers have forever been a shining symbol of revolutionary heroism, the spirit and will to sacrifice for independence and the aspiration for peace. Earlier, Senior Lieutenant General Trịnh Văn Quyết offered incense at Quang Tri Ancient Zero Natural Special Relic and Road No. 9 National Martyrs Cemetery. On April 27th, the full rehearsal for the 50th anniversary of the South Liberation and National Reunification Day was held. Head of the Central State Committee for Major National Celebrations and Historical Events for 2023-2025 period, Trần Cẩm Tú, presided over the rehearsal. The rehearsal, involving tens of thousands across sectors, aimed to finalize all preparations for the event. The program features 2 parts, including an artistic performance and the official ceremony. The artistic performance opened with a drum performance, Epic Song of Victory, an artistic formation, The Nation Joy, and vibrant performances by hundreds of artists and students from Ho Chi Minh City. The performances vividly captured the spirit of April 30th, peace and unity, set to stirring revolutionary songs honoring the Communist Party of Vietnam and President Ho Chi Minh. Following the formal ceremony, the Ministry of National Defense will execute the parade and procession. The event will begin with a 21-gun salute, followed by Air Force displays featuring helicopters Yak 130 and Su-30 Mk2 fighters. Leading the parade are floats featuring President Ho Chi Minh's portrait and a 50th anniversary emblem. Over 60 formations, including military, police, militia, civilians, and cultural groups, will showcase their unique identities through uniforms, insignia, and equipment, reflecting their unique mission and strength. International military contingents from China, Laos, and Cambodia will also participate in the parade. These international units previously conducted practice runs along Lê Duẩn Boulevard. Thousands of Ho Chi Minh City's residents gathered early along the parade routes. Large LED screens were set up for public viewing. The rehearsal held perfect all organizational aspects, ensuring unity and success for this grand historic event. Right after the final rehearsal, the organizing board carried out a meeting to draw experiences in our space of work to ensure success and safety for the main event on the morning of April 30th. The final rehearsal was implemented successfully, with participating forces following the script in all contents and stages, from the organization and management of the art program to the parade. The organizing board suggested relevant agencies and units take into account the feedback from competent authorities continue to finalize all remaining tasks and ensure a smooth and successful program and on time when broadcasting live on television. Close and thorough coordination must be ensured so that the office event is conducted successfully, leaving a positive and lasting impression on the public as well as both domestic and international visitors. On the afternoon of April the 27th in Quảng a delegation of the Central Military Commission Ministry of National Defense led by Deputy Chief the General Staff of the Vietnam People's Army, Lieutenant General Nguyễn Trọng Bình, offered flowers and incense in tribute to late General Võ Nguyên Giáp at Vũng Chùa in Ireland, Quảng Trạch District. The delegation expressed deep respect for the first Commander-in-Chief of the Vietnam People's Army, an outstanding student of President Ho Chi Minh, a general of the People's Heart. During the working trip, the delegation visited and presented gifts to national contributors in Quảng Trạch District, demonstrating the spirit of when drinking water, remember its source, and the profound gratitude of the military to the fallen heroes, contributing to arousing patriotism and revolutionary will among officers and soldiers in the home military. On the morning of April the 27th, Moscow time at Alabino training ground in the suburbs of Moscow, Russia, the Vietnam People's Army's formation and those from other countries participating in the Red Square Parade held practice together. After nearly 2 hours traveling from their accommodation, the Vietnam People's Army forces arrived at Alabino training ground to carry out preparations. There was a first practice session between the military delegations of the countries participating in the Red Square Parade, during which the parade participants grabbed their positions and starting orders in Paris, against the regulations of the organizing panel. Morning temperature at Alabino training ground is around 2 degrees Celsius with sunshine. However, strong winds create a feeling of frostbite, especially for those standing outside for a long time. Coming up next, Vietnam's largest hot air balloon festival underway in Đồng Nai. Workshop 6 to promote the city's heritage and sustainable tourism development. On April the 27th, Đồng Nai Province kicked off the Hot Air Balloon Festival 2025 with 50 hot air balloons symbolizing 50 years of national reunification. That is the largest hot air balloon festival ever in Vietnam, attracting thousands of tourists and locals. The festival costs around $530,000, funded through non-state budget, and lasts for 4 days from April 27 to the 30th. Visitors to the festival enjoy free admission and can freely participate in such activities as experiencing flights at an altitude of nearly 50 meters, exploring the interior of hot air balloons, and admiring talented balloon displays. Flying high in the hot air balloon brings me joy, and I like it the most when I'm up in the sky and look at the city from above. It's a beautiful sight. I hope more people will come and experience it. The festival is a unique cultural and tourism event, marking a new development in the strategy of promoting the image and tourism of Đồng Nai. Thanks to such, the province can build typical tourism products, attracting more domestic and international tourists. This event is a chance for Đồng Nai province to develop tourism, and we also hope that through this festival, we can build a tourism brand and position Đồng Nai tourism on the Vietnam tourism map. The Hot Air Balloon Festival is not only a festival of color, creativity, and investment attraction, but also an opportunity for people and tourists to experience soaring moments and admire the beauty from above. The Hot Air Balloon Festival 2025 promises to provide a vibrant, attractive. On the afternoon of April the 27th, a workshop on heritage and sustainable tourism development took place in Hue City during the participation of nearly 450 mayors, officials, and representatives of Francophone cities around the world. That is one of the highlights of the 45th General Assembly of the International Association of Francophone Mayors. The delegates at the event exchanged opinions about how to tap the full potential of heritage values to serve economic development without harming the nature and the soul of the heritage, how to make tourism a driving force for conservation, and how to link heritage tourism with environmental protection and preservation of cultural identity. By introducing a number of successful models and lessons from practice, as well as available challenges, the participating experts, researchers, policy makers, and businesses propose solutions to balance conservation and development, innovate heritage management models, apply the zero technology in touting and preserving heritage, and build creative tourism products that respect cultural identity and nature. It is the end of the latest news bulletin today. You can watch our news again at QPVN.vn. Goodbye and see you next time.